Okay, it looks like everything's going. I'm gonna start recording, and yeah, everything seems to be good.
I thought we were just playing a game and have a good time and
That's
yeah,
wings, yeah. But like,
yeah.
so yeah, we were mentioning Grace Randolph a little bit because like we were talking about Mario, and then she said cat, and then Mario became a furry because
Mario
that's
became a
what Grace
furry.
that's what Grace Randolph said. And well, she won't criticize the Last of Us 2 show because she doesn't want to say negative things about LGBT positive people. So it's brilliant. Uh,
Hmm.
Grace. Uh, I don't
I
know.
I think that's actually a net positive.
Yeah.
So less people will actually watch her channel. So I think she should actually
Yeah, I
speak
think that's
out
fair.
against shows she won't review.
she's taken a she's taken a stand against them. You turn them against me. So, about today's video. Oh, and welcome back, Fraga. It's been a while. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Okay. You can see he's on the up and
You
up.
sound pumped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Sounds like he's gonna. Looks like he's gonna start dancing and dabbing everywhere. But hold on. Let me check my audio. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Oh my gosh, you heard repeats. That's just me though. I'm just checking.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I should probably get that on real
mhm.
quick.
Get what
Let's
on?
see.
I'm sorry.
No, the background noise so that I
Oh,
can make sure it's all good.
it's fine. I just checked it. Um, but still, we are quality. This is quality checking. Because sometimes OBS doesn't record certain things, and needed to make sure. So, and that's why I also record, because when you record, it doesn't matter if you go offline on YouTube. I have it recorded, and so therefore I don't lose it. So you got to have contingency plans. So anyways, about this video, um, have any of you ever heard of Actual Justice Warrior before?
I've heard of
No.
him.
Hmm?
I think he at least from what I remember seeing, it was probably a long time ago, but
Mm-hmm.
like he made some good stuff.
I think he still does, but he's definitely a little. He makes content like every day about he. If you don't know, he's a political YouTuber, giving his thoughts on
Hmm.
situations. His big thing is criminal law, and that's what he took as um that's what he went to college for, is criminal justice. And so he covers a lot of those things, like cases in the public eye, interesting cases, and how they win or don't win, or how it's immoral, ethics, and stuff like that. He doesn't really pick a side. He just says this is what's happening, and and they're wrong based on this objective truth, or sort of how they feel. It's pretty interesting guy. And so that's what we're covering today. But the reason why, it's like, wait a minute, I I thought this was a media, like, well, it is a media sort of podcast thing, because we are going into about Superman, and how Ben Shapiro could be wrong about Superman. This is surprising. And I'm sure everyone knows who Ben Shapiro is, right? Am I have to explain that one?
Mm,
No, I think we
No, I don't
got
think
it.
I have to.
Yeah. For anyone out there who doesn't know, right wing, conservative, owns part of the Daily Wire, um,
If
uh,
you if you
the company. Yeah.
if you clicked on this, you don't know who Ben Shapiro is, then I don't think I
Hey,
don't think you can read.
everyone's
But
first video. Okay. I'm just.
isn't there like several of these politicians who are active online, and then they
Yes.
post reviews of modern media? But is
Yes.
it because they care about it, or is it to continue generating content and discussion?
I think that's for some it's both. For some, they want to get into the algorithm of being popular. But then again, I can't grab out of the air their intentions. But
Yeah, of course.
but when you hear them, you're like, oh, you just did this for the content. Like, because some of them don't even seem to care. Like Matt Walsh, I think, is the most divisive when it comes to media because he's like, video games are for children, uh, sort of thing. And then you have like they play video games on the channel, and it's like, are these people human? Did they come from another planet? But it's just that you have to understand when you've been ingrained into the political system so much that you have to bat for a team, your viewpoint's going to be skewed so much in that direction that it just follows you to the media you watch. So I completely understand that sort of thing, no matter how jaded or skewed it is. So, anyways, I'm probably going to go to the video now because we need to get started.
All right, that's
And,
good.
and I need to get to the thing. Oh my. Full screen. Oh yeah. Speaking of, what's your thoughts on, like, what do you think Superman should be like? Like, let's have a discussion about that real quick because I think
I
that's really
think-
important. No,
I-
no,
Real
no.
quick.
It is. It's really important.
I think that it's better if I just respond to what they think about it because I don't really know how to put it into words really.
That's fair enough. Anyone else have any, like, does anyone else have that sort of feeling, or are we just going into it?
I haven't read too many of the comics, but I remember watching movies and TV shows
Mm-hmm.
and coverage of them. And from what I can tell, he's a Superman not because he can fly, but because of the contents of his character. Like he's the sort of person to help an old lady across the street, and like he's something you yearn to be because he's the best of us, not because of he can fly, but because of how he is as a person. And it's about timeless qualities of being kind and strong and standing up for truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah, I think that's pretty true. I grew up with the animated series Superman, and I think he embodies all those traits of like he's humble to a fault where it's like he doesn't see himself as above people. Um and when he does, it is something bad about his character. Like sort of how like he needs to get himself back down to caring about people again. Uh like he'll rescue a cat from a tree because someone's having a problem, but he'll also stop bombs in the city because that could harm people. Like he cares about others first instead of himself. Um and he sort of embodies those things in his actions. I think that's what people get wrong about Superman is that it can be a power fantasy for sure, but that's not why people love Superman. They love him because he has a core of being like this really good guy. And then when you push that character in different ways, you get to the core of what he thinks about humanity and how he thinks about them. Because Clark Kent is a reflection on what he thinks about humanity. Not necessarily that they're weak, but he thinks that like they need to he needs to work on himself as Clark Kent. So therefore, like he thinks people need to work themselves out. It's there's some pretty interesting commentary about humanity in there. But let's see what they have to say. Oh, I forgot to put a cover up. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause it because of copyright. There's a Yamcha pose.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, this is where having a second monitor would make it real easy for you to
Mhm.
switch the filter on and off whenever you wanted.
That's true. I should probably use a copy and paste feature on OBS and just put a cover filter on it instead of looking for it. But it's fine. We'll just pause it. This is the trailer for the new Superman movie, the James Gunn one.
Oh, for a second
Mhm.
there, I thought it was Batman.
Yeah, dude,
Oh my
thank you
gosh!
so much.
Look at that, he is Batman. What I mean is, like I said,
By the way, this is Ben
Mhm.
Shapiro. If you haven't heard of Ben Shapiro,
Oh yeah, this
Yeah,
is Ben Shapiro out in the
this-
snow. He gets beat up. Yeah, just like in the thumbnail.
No. Oh no.
Just like in the
I think
thumbnail.
this is footage from the future in the war for Greenland.
He-
I think
he's
this is
being-
what it
The
is.
war for Greenland.
He's being kicked into the ground, and as he's being kicked, he's
Whoa.
just saying, "My wife's a doctor."
Get me my wife. She's a doctor in Minecraft, by the way. Let's
Yeah.
not vindicate for Ben Shapiro's beating up. We get a lot of comments. Okay, anti-Semitic. All right. It's like... Well, it's called Man of Tomorrow, isn't it?
No, it's just called
Oh,
Superman.
Yeah, I thought it was just called Superman.
Okay.
It was originally gonna be called Superman Legacy, but I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
they just changed it.
Well, that's because
Just Superman.
that's stupid. There's no legacy to go on with his own universe, so what's called legacy?
Well, it's like him making his own legacy, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
it's
a lot of silly stuff in this trailer, so
oh,
I'm not
you
too
haven't-
bothered by legacy.
you haven't heard about the leaks, so the new leaks, I should say. It's really silly. It's really stupid. Are we gonna get started?
Yeah, we're just watching the full trailer first
He-
before.
He does get beat up, but I wonder who beats him up.
Maybe
That's
it's
my
the
question.
kaiju from the other part of the trailer.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's Zack Snyder.
Oh my gosh.
I want to start this video off by talking
Oh wow.
about
Okay,
Okay.
that was abrupt.
Yeah, it was.
one of my favorite movies from my childhood that, by the way, if you haven't seen, you definitely should. If your kids haven't seen it, you should show it to them immediately. In fact, stop the video after I give you the title and show them this movie. And that, of course, is the 1999 financial flop, The Iron Giant, which
Okay.
Let's see where
Let's
it
see where
goes.
this goes, because yes, I also love The Iron Giant by Brad Bird. Good movie. I think the
Okay.
reason why he's saying this is because he gets his inspiration from Superman. Spoilers for The Iron Giant.
which is Vin Diesel's, by the way, best performance as an actor, bar none. Maybe second best behind that is his performance as Groot in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But the premise of The Iron Giant is as follows. You have a
Oh wait,
robot that's-
am I echoing?
Someone is.
No.
Mhm.
Am
Someone's
I?
echoing. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
There's a
play
train.
the
Is it
video.
this time?
built by aliens or the Soviets or whoever, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it is
I hear
me.
it.
Okay,
do
hold
hear it.
on. Let me
It's
lower
fine.
down the volume.
Well, I
No,
thought
it's not fine.
it's not fine.
All right, I got it.
Also, we need to make sure that it's Superman. So I'm gonna wait for the train to get by, because I have the window open because it's so hot up in here. So I generate a lot of electricity and heat in here. So
That is clearly and obviously designed to be a weapon of mass destruction. However, he gets hit on his head, he lost his memory, and he ends up befriending a young boy called Hogarth. And throughout the course of the movie, Hogarth teaches him this lesson that you are who you choose to be. And the annihilating style robot is juxtaposed with Superman, the topic of today's video. And throughout the course of the film, the Iron Giant wants to be Superman. He wants to choose that path rather than the path that was laid out for him. But
I think this is apt when it comes to what he wants to be. I mean, that's why everyone sort of cries at the end, because like it's not just because he sacrifices himself, but it's also because that's what Superman would do. It's like what a cool thing about that movie.
But
That
the
movie was
thing that you
great.
need to understand is for the premise of this movie to make sense, Superman has to be so ingrained in our culture, who he is fundamentally, that we understand that just naming him as the goal for the Iron Giant can have the film's entire plot, entire choice, everything work. And the reason that is possible is because Superman is that character. He does actually mean something on his own, and that is what we need to see whenever we're analyzing any kind of Superman related media.
You think that's true?
Not anymore. Uh,
Wow.
Like it used to be that his premise is that it's important for this to everybody needs to understand that this is who Superman is in order
Mhm.
for the Iron Giant to work. I agree with that, but I think
Mhm.
after the Zack Snyder movies, the public perception of Superman is different.
Zing.
Like
I understand
now,
that though.
no, it's just
Mhm.
a different aesthetic and feel to those movies.
Like I understand if you want to take an adaptation of Superman and make it different, because that's the whole point of Brightburn, is that like what if Superman is so alien that he doesn't see himself as human, so he thinks himself as above humans. It's like, yeah, I mean, you can go that direction. There's the other Superman from the other universe, the Justice one, Justice Lord Superman, like Ultraman or whatever his name is. And it's like, daggone, like what a interesting way of looking at Superman as lawfully evil, or the one from Brightburn, which is chaotic evil, which is this. It doesn't even care about humanity in a way. He just wants to do whatever he wants. You can have different interpretations, but the one people want to see, mostly that a broad amount of people want to see, is the Superman that I think he's talking about, which is like
Well-
the one with the moral center, with the moral code of truth, justice, and the American way.
Well, I would say people want to see that one a lot more like nowadays because we've been so like we've had Zack Snyder's Superman and the Brightburn one. Like we just
Mm-hmm.
have so many like people trying to redo like
Superman,
uh,
but evil. Which is
yeah, basically just like the Superman but evil, which is getting a bit
Homelander,
annoying.
right?
Yeah,
Or
it's getting a bit annoying. So
Omni-Man.
like yeah, so when you see a Superman, but he's nothing but up spirited and
Mhm.
like
Hopeful.
yeah, hopeful. Like it's it's like a relief to see, I guess.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Like we've been bombarded with a lot of Superman, but what if he's a little evil? What if he's a little edgy? It's like, can we just have Superman that stands up for what's right? It's
Mhm.
like that'd be nice too. People want to feel good going to the theater. Like, believe it or not everyone goes to the theater and be challenged. They just want to sit there, sit my popcorn, and say, yeah, that was entertaining, but also I found it. I had a big smile on my face when I left, and I feel good. And it's not because the movie was good. It's also because the characteristics of Superman is hopeful. Like,
We need to see the noble choices. We need to see him stand up for truth, justice, and the American way. We need to see him be a representation of the best parts of us. Superman is an aspirational character. We need to feel when we're engaging with Superman media that the world would be a better place, or you would be a better person if you behaved more like Superman. So that is the lens to which I analyze all Superman media.
okay, so this is his lens, which I don't see anything necessarily wrong with that. I don't like that can skew you toward other versions of Superman that aren't as hopeful as you like, but at least he has a standard that um that I can understand and empathize with, you know?
Yeah, I feel like he understands the core of the original character and likes the original character.
Mhm.
And you can tell when people make a deconstruction of that how it feels differently.
Well,
Like
sorry.
Invincible is a bit of a deconstruction of Superman,
Hmm.
but it's made by someone who likes Superman.
Oh yeah,
And then
like,
The Boys is also deconstruction, but it's like someone who doesn't like Superman.
well, someone who doesn't like the
It feels
idea of superheroes
different.
being moral. It just feels that way.
that is the lens to which I will be analyzing this particular trailer, and that is the lens to which I will be criticizing ridiculous takes like the one that Ben Shapiro laid out, where he was just hating on this movie just to hate on it, or hating on this teaser
Well,
just to hate on it. So
Wow, that's
don't- I
that's a
don't
claim.
I don't
Present
believe
your,
I
present
don't
your
be-
arguments.
I don't believe Ben Shapiro would want to hate it.
That's a claim, but like you're gonna have to prove it, Sean. That's his real name.
Hasn't Ben Shapiro said that he likes a lot of Marvel movies?
Yes. Well, the five
Like,
top
not
ones
like-
are the fun ones. So
Yeah, so yes.
I don't know. I don't know how Ben judges media. It's really hard to say because he likes the who made the Batman Nolan trilogy? I just said Nolan, but
Yeah, you
Christopher
just said
Nolan.
it.
I was like, yeah, you'll figure.
but like
it out.
the Nolan trilogy, he likes that one because it's pro-capitalism. It's like it's like okay.
What?
Okay. Well,
What about Dark Knight
Like,
Rises?
well,
Wasn't that anti-capitalist a little bit?
no. The reason why he says he likes that is because he's against somebody who's anti-capitalist. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
we
Like,
need
I
to
haven't
have a
seen-
society.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if you're Bane, you're probably anti-communist too, because he's a fucking anarchist.
That's yeah, exactly. And he
Like, I haven't.
he wants to tear down the
seen-
system, is what I mean. Yeah.
I haven't seen the Nolan trilogy in like forever now, but like I never got the idea that I was pro-capitalist.
Maybe I'm misquoting him a little bit with the pro capitalism stuff, but it's definitely pro business, pro like that capital makes the city better. It's like that's what he thinks the Waynes represented. So it's like, all right, he's a political analyst. Makes sense to me why he would say that.
But yeah,
Yeah, but
we're
like I'm
gonna break down-
pretty sure, like EFAP has covered him like ranking. I think he was ranking the Star Wars movies or the MCU movies. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure he likes like superhero movies. Like it's
Mhm.
probably not like his favorite type of movie, but he does like some of them. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna go into a superhero movie looking to hate it. He's probably gonna just like maybe be more like dismissive than your average person because
Yes, I think
well,
that's true
you know,
too.
it's a fantasy, fantastical kind of movie. So
Mhm.
why
He's-
should I take it seriously?
Yeah, he's definitely
that
more
would
of
be
the
his
down to
type.
earth type person.
Yeah.
hating on this teaser just to hate on it. So yeah, we're going to break down the Superman teaser. We're going to break down some of the reaction. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Oh, give me the money. Give you
$60.
give me the money, okay?
I don't like that part. I really don't. Like,
No.
Why is there why is there a super dog?
I don't mind being a super
Why?
dog. Just
Because
don't have him
there is-
jumping all over him.
Why would you depict that in a real in like
That
an-
is, but that's a very realistic dog where it just steps all over you, it doesn't care and hurts you.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here's the thing. He's already been Superman for quite some time in this universe, from the looks of it.
Yes.
And Crypto. Well, now, in fairness, we don't know how long Crypto's been with him. But if Crypto's supposed to be his loyal dog, he would know when Superman is hurt.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
Crypto should be jumping. I know that's what a dog does, but it seems more of like how you say
It's-
I forget his name.
It's not the matter. It's not the matter
It's
of
how-
whether the dog would do this or not. It's the matter of would Crypto, his loyal dog, not detect that he is in he has some kind of injury or whatever.
pain. I
I
think
don't even
this.
think a dog like this should exist.
My,
Like it's
my-
way too dangerous to have a dog that acts like a dog but also has like potentially the same powers as Superman.
my question is, how does this dog even exist? Like, is a dog Kryptonian?
Yeah, supposedly.
I
It
get-
just
I
looks
get-
like
yeah.
a dog.
I guess so.
Well,
Does
It just looks like a dog though.
well, so does, to be fair, Superman looks like a human being.
yeah,
What the
but
dog do?
with the
Okay.
dog.
So
food.
like when
Oh, that's two coincidences that I have to believe, I guess, that the same
Mhm.
dogs that also exist on Earth happen to also exist in space.
yeah, I was gonna say
Exactly the same way.
what's Superman's dad's name again?
Oh,
Jor-El.
Oh,
Jor-El.
Jor-El.
Jor-
Yeah,
Jor-El,
so
yeah,
when Jor-El and like his wife put baby Kal-El or Superman in the his spaceship, they also gave him a dog with it.
I don't remember seeing any
Hey,
dogs
hey,
on Krypton.
here you go. This will keep you safe. And but just this one dog, you know, all the other dogs that live on Krypton,
He only
they all
fit
get to go.
one.
Mhm.
But
I feel like having dogs on your planet, really, I don't know. It feels like it's an attempt to make the audience relate to Kryptonians. Like, you see, look, it's just like Earth. They have dogs. Like, instead of just
Now let's
pointing to
blow
the
them
fact
up.
that that they have like a civilization, which should already be enough way to relate to them.
the
I found another character that's also a little bit stupid. I'm gonna send a picture to you, but it's basically Batman. He also has
he also has a dog.
an
Yes,
animal companion,
bat dog.
but it's not a dog.
Oh,
It's a cow. It's Bat Cow. I just sent the picture in the chat.
okay. Well,
Batman seems
that-
more like a cat person to me.
that comes to more of my point though, is that like this is definitely
Hey.
something that James Gunn likes, because he likes the Silver Age stuff, so he's gonna bring in Crypto. It's like, all right.
It feels like he's trying to make it goofy. Like, that's what he wants to do.
Oh yeah, like, and here's the thing: this is a goofy character, but he's doing the sort of like, haha, isn't this kind of funny that this dog is acting like this? Like, even though he's injured, it's like, oh no, I don't like
don't think it ever went past, like, isn't it kind of hilarious that Superman, conveniently, the only person on the planet who has Superman powers, also has a dog that's also just like him? Isn't that crazy? I'm like, yeah, that is. You
He
probably
just-
should put that in the movie.
He just throws it as a comic book thing. He's not really thinking about it making sense.
You see, I can it's amazing because I can believe that
Mhm.
Superman has the amazing powers he has, but I can't believe that he also has a dog that also has the same amazing powers that he has. If he just had a normal dog, I could believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're asking a lot for me to believe that a dog has the powers of Superman. That's a little bit.
I didn't even think about that because it's just
that's a bit
something Superman has had, and so James Gunn decided to do it. Like, okay,
Oh, yeah, I figured.
yeah.
It's just like, that's probably gonna turn some people away.
I mean, the way he acts, the way he's just pushing him like that, I'm like, no, stop. This is not something you should be showing in your trailer. It's not something you should be having in your movie, I don't think. Just makes the dog look like a jerk. He's telling him to stop, but he keeps doing it. It's like he should be smarter. Like, Crypto's not dumb.
Man, this guy's playing a lot of this trailer.
I know. Oh, there it is.
Already, people are angry about this particular section of the teaser released by Warner Brothers because they're saying certain things like, why is Krypto attacking Superman? Why is Superman being attacked by Krypto? Why are they doing the comedy thing?
Krypto.
Oh my god, Man of Steel so much cooler. Remember, the Snyderverse was going to Injustice storyline. I like Injustice storyline because it's new and they have a video game.
Okay.
I mean,
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe this will be an unpopular opinion in the chat.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
I am not a fan of Man of Steel. I'm not a fan of the plot, but I do think it looks cooler than the trailer that we saw.
Well, that's
The
one thing
thing
Zack
is-
Snyder has is that. Well, I'm
That's a
sorry.
very subjective thing.
Oh
so.
yeah, because like it does have a style. Like, even though it may be cringe sometimes the way he does his style, but it definitely has
Absolutely.
a style. Like and it looks pretty. Like, there's a reason why people love like 300 and stuff like that, because he had the it had a unique look to it. He has a way of making his style known instantly.
He's sometimes it feels like style over substance, but there's definitely is a style there.
The thing is though, it's like those other movies that he did, like Watchmen, for example, is like, yeah, but they were done under supervision of somebody else, so he wouldn't go too far. Like, and then when you got Batman v Superman, it's like, oh boy, he went overboard. Like, but anyway,
It's like George Lucas with the original trilogy. It was cooperation and teamwork.
and
But
then
then
the
for the
prequels,
prequels, he was
yep,
all alone.
yep, he
Yeah.
got, they're a bunch of brown nosers. So it's, so let's see what Ben has to say.
They have a video game.
Okay, I don't see the purpose of this.
Take me home.
So this is not dramatic, it's just silly and ridiculous.
I agree with
And
that.
then finally, Crypto figures out that he needs to take Superman back to the Fortress of Solitude.
You know what would have been better, actually, if he licked Clark and he started to understand what was going on. Like, that's a normal dog thing to do, but it's also very endearing. Like, oh, okay, I need to take you. So he takes him after the licking. It's like, yeah, that'd be a lot better. Like, optically.
Or if you want Crypto to hurt Superman, the best way to do
Oof.
so is that Crypto runs up to him, puts his front legs on, let's say, Superman's arm, since he's laying in that position, and it shoves Superman a little bit, and it hurts him. And then, Crypto's confused at first, but then he starts to realize that, his master is hurt, he's injured. It's like that's probably the best way to do it, but
To subdue
this
it
feels-
instead of doing all that.
yeah, this feels like a stretch.
That feels like a stretch. It feels like you have a dumb dog. That's what it feels like.
Every James Gunn joke is a Monty Python joke, just lasts 3 times too long. So now Crypto is dragging Superman's prone
What does that mean? What do you mean?
I
Is he ta-
don't.
Is he talking about
don't know.
slapstick? It's like,
Every joke is like a Monty Python joke. It lasts too long.
it lasts longer than it
He
needs
said
to.
it. He said it lasts 3 times too long.
Yeah, listen.
3
every-
times as long or something.
Yeah,
As a massive fan of Holy Grail, I don't agree with that.
yeah, because Holy Grail has some
Did he
jokes
say?
that go on a
Did he
long
say it was
time.
the same, or did he say it was like it but longer?
Well, let's go back and find out.
Fortress of Solitude. Every James Gunn joke is a Monty Python joke, just lasts 3 times too long.
This has 3
Yeah.
times long. So his
Oh, all right,
acclaim.
that's fine. He's not a fan of Monty Python. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I understand, but it's like I just don't know what you mean by that. Like, what's a Monty Python joke? All right.
So now Crypto is dragging Superman's prone body through the snow back toward the Fortress of Solitude, which arises from the Arctic. And it's a cool looking Fortress of Solitude, I'll give you that. But don't worry, it gets worse.
Now, to be clear,
Don't worry, it gets worse.
I mean, I prefer the fact that the Fortress of Solitude rises from the Arctic, because if it was just there the whole entire time, it'll get kind of awkward that nobody is able to find it.
Or enter it and do something to it. Yeah. Well, that's why in the comics, in the old comics, they used to have like the key to the Fortress of Solitude was attached to something only Superman could lift. Like
Yeah. Like, didn't he? It was a
I forget.
very simple, normal key, but it was made from like a dead star, so it was super heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Comic books are weird, but they're also awesome in that regard.
Benny Boy isn't 100% wrong right there to be worried about James Gunn churning this into too much of a goofy comedy a la Guardians of the Galaxy. So I will point out that I do have a little bit of hesitancy getting on board James Gunn for this particular movie, because I'm not sure 100% he is the correct person for this particular job.
I agree with that, actually. I don't think James Gunn is good for Superman. Like,
Yeah.
when I first heard about that, I'm like, let's see what he's got first. But I'm really it's like that's a red flag for me. And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, it's another red flag. And then when I hear the leaks, it's like another red flag. It's like,
That being said, I think what people seem to not understand is that Crypto is a dog. Like, he may have the powers or some of the powers of Superman, but fundamentally, he's a dog. His owner is Superman. Superman has never been hurt in front of Crypto, so the point of him jumping on him is that he's acting in a way that a dog would act in this particular scenario.
that's still
how
bad.
would you,
That's still
but
bad.
how
I
would
don't think so.
how would
I don't
he
think
know
so.
that Crypto's never seen him, Superman, been hurt?
I don't know. I don't know how you came to
He-
that conclusion.
I mean, this could very well be the first time Superman's been this injured, I guess.
Where he can't move? Maybe? But it's like,
Is this
Maybe.
dog like a puppy or something? Because, I mean, a well-trained dog would understand if you're in pain or not. I don't
or
know.
he should be.
Seems like a pretty basic thing.
I've never seen, like,
I am happy. I am sad. Like, dogs understand those things.
remember when
Maybe
Mark...
not to the extent we do,
Oh,
but
sorry.
you know.
Yeah, of course. But like, remember when Markiplier pretended to be dead, and they reacted
Yeah.
differently?
Yeah.
I've ever seen the ones where like, not pretending, but like, there's many cases where it's like, they know their owner is injured, and they're like, they either do something about it, or they just sit there and wait for them to die. It's like,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of, but then again, those dogs have been there with their owners for a while, and they care for them. So if a dog meets a guest at the door, then they'll jump all over them. This isn't a guest at the door. Like, I just don't believe. This is what a sort of a meta sense of a joke would be for a dog. It's like, haha, he's jumping all over him. Like, all right, I guess that makes sense from an out of owner concept, I guess. But it just feels really off to me.
By the way, many of the commenters underneath the trailer get this 100%, and they're explaining it to people who are on the internet.com bitching and moaning about how this isn't the Snyderverse.
Just like you.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like when I was on Twitter, people were like, "Oh, it looks awful because it's not. Look at the Zack Snyder's vision." It's like, so what's the context of that vision? By the way,
I didn't see any dead babies on screen. This is the worst Superman content I've ever experienced.
Holy crap, dude! They had their chance, you know.
I saw someone they did an edit to show what the Zack Snyder Crypto would be, and it was a pit bull in a bulletproof vest. And that is the Zack Snyder Crypto.
No, man, it's a junkyard dog with like BDSM gear on him with spikes and everything. He's got armor, and he's like, and he starts lasering people as soon as they enter the junkyard, like or the Fortress of Solitude, because that's where it would be, in a junkyard, because it's full of metal. It's like, gosh.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve.
I don't like that either. Like, you
What?
didn't need to do that flourish at the end. It's like, you don't need to thank us, sir.
It feels like
Just that's it. That's all you need.
don't need to thank us. But as you know, we are robots, and you do not need to thank us because we are robots and we feel nothing. Like
You could
okay,
say that later. Like, you don't need to say that now.
I showed our good old pal Mook this sneak peek. We watched it. Me and him watched it together, and I complained about this line being contradicted in literally 2 seconds later. But as we'll see in this scene, Mook told me that his interpretation of this scene was that this line is meant to be a setup for a small joke.
Yeah, I can see that.
What? Yeah, obviously. What?
No, I mean
Sure.
like a setup for like the next line so that it could be used as a joke. Play the clip.
Yeah, sure, but what I mean is like I just don't like the way it's set up for a joke either. Like I
Yeah, but just because it's like I know I like by the way, I'm more just for like the frustration comes from like he's stating the obvious. It's like, well, you see, it happened because that was the reason it happened. You
yeah,
see?
yeah,
Five
yeah.
seconds later, it's to set up a joke. So it's not
Mhm.
about the logic of it, it's about the joke. You see? It's funny.
Well, they're both bad, I
Well,
think.
I wasn't saying whether Moog was wrong or right. I was just saying that that was his interpretation of the thing because we were talking about why the robot said this line. That's all.
Right.
I
Well, yeah.
I would say that like it doesn't make sense and it's weak setup. So
Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
So right here we see the robots that are caring for Superman. They are meant to serve him, and of course Superman does a very Superman thing where he thanks the robots because that's the kind of person that he is. It tells you a little bit about his character, about the humility of this particular person.
I don't think it goes that far. Me personally, because when somebody helps you, you just thank them. That's not really. I don't think that's humility. I just think that's like common courtesy.
And then we get a joke that aggravated Ben Shapiro very, very much about one of the female robots being into Superman because it looked at him.
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
Well,
He looked at me.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
oh, it moves toward the sun.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of also interesting that like the Arctic isn't known for its sunlight.
It's known for its sunlight like half the year. The other half,
Yeah, it's like
the
nothing.
year,
Yeah.
yeah. So for only
As a
half,
guy who lives very close by, it varies greatly depending on what season it is.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
you
so
get
like
season-
for
months of. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so for one half of the year, Superman won't be able to heal himself at his Fortress of Solitude.
Well, he would heal much slower. Yeah, because as long as the sun's out, he will heal. But like, if you want concentrated sunlight, yeah, you would heal faster. Are you? Is everything all right?
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Okay, and then they're gonna hit
292 times
Superman with a
Fahrenheit,
magnifying
please.
glass.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. Ben's commentary on certain things is really weird.
He looks like he's having a bad time. It's like, why are you even watching it then?
No,
It's-
that's just his face.
No, I don't know. Yeah, that's
That's
kind of
fine.
true, but it's like,
He doesn't
man,
have to be enjoying himself
looks-
to
He
watch something.
he has.
he looks upset all the time.
He has
Like
resting Ben face.
resting
Ben
Ben
face.
face.
Resting Ben face.
Well, that's I've seen enough Ben Shapiro to not these videos, just more so Ben Shapiro in the past
yes.
to know that
Mhm.
this is his focused face. This
Yeah.
is just yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I don't get, why this hurts him. This should not be hurting him.
I
I don't think
Falco,
it's hurting him.
it's the well, whether it's hurting him or not, I think it's hurting him, and the reason the reason this does make sense is because you could say that in this interpretation, James Gunn wanted to go with the idea of him healing is hurting him because he's getting he's getting his body reconstructed from the inside, and it could very much hurt.
Oh yeah, like what I sort of, well, if I'd use my interpretation, I think what's happening is it's like he's getting it too fast. Like he's not healing the way he normally would, but he needs to do it faster. So it's like, yep, we're doing this the fast way. and so
Oh yeah,
he gets
that's
yeah.
why because the sunlight isn't really healing him when Crypto's dragging him to the Fortress of Solitude. It quickens the healing when the sunlight is being focused into that science fiction
lens thing.
magnifying glass. Yeah,
And then
it's like when you have sunlight on a piece of paper, but when you use a magnifying glass, the sun kind of focuses the heat
and it burns
the heat
it.
into them. Yeah.
I get the idea. This is unnatural, like, acceleration of his healing, I think. But then again, I don't know that for sure. This is just me trying to make sense of it. But then it's like Emperor Palpatine is there. He's like, yes, look at your friends out there.
All right. And now he's painfully absorbing the sun, which apparently was not available before. So the sun, which, as we all know, illuminates the Earth, which is the planet we are currently spinning on.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I love the way he says that. He's like, the planet we are particularly on.
Okay, continue.
I'm sorry. I just found that funny.
Like adding.
On. Apparently, only the magnifying glass could make Superman better.
Now, again, I want some lighthearted stuff in my Superman movie.
I just love that idea. It's like, yeah, why do you put some thought power in your brain? Why is a magnifying glass better? It's.
Well, I've already explained my point.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just saying. It's just. I mean, Ben could use the good faith into bad faith interpretation, but oh well. He could counter his own points. But nope, his voice is absolute.
Here and there. Now, whether or not this whole movie is going to be one joke after another, like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which is my least favorite of the Guardians movies, that remains to be seen. But the
Really?
Wow, really?
Okay, he's not gonna really explain his point most likely, but really, Guardians 2 is your least favorite.
That's interesting
He
because
just said Guardians of the Galaxy. is
Volume
his
2.
least favorite.
Volume 2.
Oh, did you see Volume 2? Oh,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
okay.
That's fine with me.
Is 2 is my favorite, but I'm not gonna get too
1
up
is my
about
favorite. I don't.
Yeah, I'll say 1's my favorite.
Yeah, because I like the join-up scene. There's a lot more to juggle, and he does it really. I think it's a really good juggle session of how many characters he has, and being really efficient with the character growth of like all of them. It's like it's pretty tough for an opening movie.
Continue the video. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Reaction to this, absurd in every possible way. Then, of course, you have the next thing, which is Superman being healed by focused solar energy, and people are mad about that on the internet.com as well.
Why would you say internet.com?
It's a joke,
sorry,
he says.
That just annoyed me.
That's something Ben would say.
Have you guys ever done this with ants?
Yeah, actually. Oh, with ants?
No.
No, but I did.
No.
I did dig up an ant colony once just to see what was down there. It's pretty interesting.
Ants.
Pretty smart ants.
Now look, I know the Snyder people are angry. I knew the Snyder people were going to reject this no matter what, because it's not a continuation of the ridiculously over-the-top dark version of the universe that Snyder put forward, but the guy has a bunch of different bones. If the sunlight is making him heal, all those bones are resetting, and you would expect—
Oh my gosh. It's exactly what Froggo said. Whoa.
expect some pain to be included in that particular process. And people are saying that Superman should grin and bear it, but remember, this is a guy—
He is grin and bearing it. He's trying, and he can't. Like, that's kind of the point.
Who is not actually exposed to pain all that often, so his reaction right here, totally fine. Everybody needs to relax. Everybody needs to calm down.
Who's back?
Oh no.
Oh no, Godzilla.
Why? Why did they do this?
Why do they do what?
But
What do you,
doesn't he fight
what you
Would they have
complaining?
Godzilla
monsters all the time?
Oh, that doesn't bother me. It's actually Hawk Girl that bothers me. Like, because we don't need other characters. Freaking focus on like Superman, Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, and freaking Jimmy Olsen. I was gonna say someone else, but you know, like the core Superman family first. He hugged his father. And then Snyder people are like, "Come on, tell him to leave the kids behind."
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. I don't know why he's just standing there. I don't know why that frame is there. Hang on, we need to go back. Hold on. Why is he not getting busy?
I think it's isn't Guy Gardner fighting it right now. Like
I don't know.
I saw another freeze frame where you see green blasts and
it shouldn't matter though.
So someone else is already. Well, yeah.
Who knows what the context is?
It shouldn't matter. Well, that's the thing. Like, it could be another universe because that's been confirmed that there's different pocket universes that Lex Luthor has. So, like, who knows? And one of them has typing monkeys.
You're already doing universes, like different universes in your first movie?
Well,
really?
these pocket universes are like not even other universes. You know what I mean? A pocket universe is something you just grab. I guess.
Okay. I'm not even gonna try to get into that.
Yeah.
Is that like the Phantom Zone? Where the Phantom
something
Zone
like
is
that.
Like a jail.
Yeah, something like that, where it's like it's a contained universe that doesn't lead to other universes except with the device that can open it. That's what a pocket universe is. Yay, hope. It's kind of funny that like when Snyder did the hope scenes, they were all very down things. And
like he tried.
And looking up toward like there's a god in the sky. This one is like, please help us, Superman, you're our only hope. Like, yeah, he's doing the Superman is a good thing in the world. Not a terrible thing.
Superman.
There he is, Mr. Terrific.
That's his name?
Yeah.
No, that's not his name. Come on. What's his actual name?
Yeah.
Listen, there's...
sometimes with superheroes, you
Falco...
don't want to hear the real name.
No, what's his real name? He's Mr. Captain Condiment is a
no,
I get
not.
that more than Mr. Terrific.
Hey,
no,
listen.
I prefer
Michael
Captain
Holt.
Condiment.
I don't, but
Michael Holt.
Because man, it
Mr.
sucks
Terrific.
that people don't take DC seriously anymore. It's a shame.
Yeah, well, Mr. Terrific.
What's wrong with
You're
that?
gonna put that in your mainline representation of Superman. Mr. Terrific sounds like the bad guy in a story made by a 4-year-old.
What about Mr. Fantastic?
I'm not a fan of that either, to be honest.
Okay, at least you're consistent. That's
But,
cool.
But
I'm not. I prefer Mr. Fantastic. It sounds better.
Yeah.
It rolls off. Maybe it rolls off the tongue a little better, but I prefer that. But that's not really me saying I like that.
Do
you know
I understand.
Black Bolt?
Black Bolt.
I think.
Yeah, I know him.
Blackguard Boltigan.
Blackguard Boltigan. That's his real name.
Yep.
Actually,
it's basically.
I'd like.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I didn't. I think it was delayed. I didn't know if you're coming through or not. But I just wanted to revitalize my statement a little. If this guy calls himself Mr. Terrific, I have a problem with it.
That's fair.
Because I was thinking about Mr. Fantastic, and you made me kind of second guess what I was saying. I was like, oh, I don't really mind that. Why don't I mind that? It's because he doesn't call himself Mr. Fantastic.
Well, I think the reason why is a sort of meta perspective that it's come to a place of normacy, so therefore it doesn't sound as strange when you say it. It's kind of like Batman. It's not a very good name. It's really not. But because he's so popular, he's a part of culture. It's very simple. Yeah, it's like.
So I don't mind Batman because it's very simple. Same with Superman. It's very you could if you want to criticize Batman, then you kind of have to criticize every like
exactly
basic superhero
well,
name.
That's kind of my
Mr.
point. Yeah.
Like Mr. Well, I've already forgotten what the fuck his name is. Mr. Terrific.
Um,
Really? That's something that my teacher would sarcastically refer to me as if I was late for class. Look who it is, Mr. Terrific.
I heard an explanation. I heard an explanation for Mr. Fantastic and the Fantastic Four. Back in the 60s, the word fantastic meant something different. Like today, fantastic just means great or good or nice. But in the old days, it was more fantastical or incredible or different. And I saw like some early reviews in the theater for Star Wars where people said it was a fantastic movie, but it was also good. So it was a different meaning.
Oh yeah, like a
different
Disney
context.
fantastical, fanatical Star Wars universe. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of silly named people in the DC universe. I don't mind it because I know about their characters, and it's like.
I think it, yeah.
And then it could.
What is? Oh, whoa, hold on, Mister. You're like, what is that?
That's an
Because it's Dark Side.
Oh, that's Metamorpho. Oh my gosh,
Metamorpho.
it is. Why?
Falco.
Yeah.
I want you to put this image.
Oh.
On stream.
How do I?
Because.
How do I do that?
Hold on.
So demanding, Fargo.
So here's how you do it, Falco. You make a new slide in OBS.
That's what I thought about doing first. It just takes a long time.
You did it.
Okay, so I'm gonna send this image over to you. It doesn't look like Metamorpho on the close-up, but when you actually look at the behind the scenes, it does look like a neat interpretation of Metamorpho. Take a look at.
Okay, I will get to it. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is him. I'm going to put it into my folders. Hang on. This will take a while.
Don't worry.
Another thing I want to talk about with Mr. Terrific is I don't like that mask thing he has on. It looks stupid.
Oh, you mean the T? Yeah.
Yeah, like over his face.
Yeah, that's just a part of his because freaking James Gunn likes the classics.
Oh no, I hadn't noticed that. Now that you pointed it out, you're right.
You didn't notice?
Can't take him seriously.
Well,
the fact that his name is Mr. Terrific, if his name wasn't Mr. Terrific, I actually think it would be less stupid. But now it's a big T on his face. Are you fucking kidding me?
I know. Okay, hold on. Let me go with my.
That's a clown character at this point.
You know what? No matter how good or bad Superman is, I'm sure it'll still be better than the Fantastic Four movie. There, I fucking said it. Fight me, people.
I kind of almost agree.
I guess we'll wait until it comes out.
So here it is. Metamorpho. Whoa, look at him, guys. There he is. I'm gonna put it in the VC text as well. So people can get it.
Oh yeah, there he is. There he is.
Yep, there he is. It takes a while because you're behind. It's fine. It looks better from that, but my problem is, why is he there?
I don't know.
You don't need this.
I saw a comment that he's probably going to be a prisoner for the bad guy because apparently he can turn himself into kryptonite.
Yes.
So that's probably the plot device.
He can turn himself into any element. That's his power.
He's half cornflakes, half Fruit Loops.
He could do that. Yeah.
I don't think there was any Fruit Loops that look like that.
Follow your nose. Anyways,
I'm having some internet problems, so I'm probably gonna head out now.
okay,
But
that's fine.
Alright.
I'll watch it in the chat.
Okay, that's
All
fine.
right.
Thank you for
See
coming
you,
by.
bro.
I'll see you around.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you, Relix.
All right.
And then it concludes with a mishmash of a bunch of different scenes right there. And again, you don't really get a sense of where this movie is going. It seems like there's a lot of stuff in here. I saw Mr. Terrific. I saw Hawk Girl. It appears that they have Guy
See, Mr. Terrific. I wasn't lying.
Gardner, Green Lantern in this particular film. So again, it doesn't give you a whole bunch of information on what this movie is about. I have a weird feeling that the villain based on Superman being in that box might actually be the Collector, but again, I haven't read anything about this. But as of right now, as of what I
Hold on.
Collector.
The Collector?
The Collector is also in DC.
I remember that from Guardians.
Yeah, yeah. Like, wait, is that a?
See,
Oh,
you see,
oh,
the Collector was in the Pocket Universe.
Yeah.
Lex pulled out. He's like, "What's this?" He's like, "Oh,
Fuck
I'm the
me.
Collector." Like,
Matt, okay, if this was just a comedy, I would love it. If Lex was like, yeah, I've got this pocket dimensions called the MCU.
Whoa! Why would they include the collect? That would be a really fucking weird idea.
let's
So
let's
for
go
those
back
of
to
you
the
who don't
pockets. Let's
Hold-
let's
hold
go
on.
back to this. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I just looked it up and I remember this.
Mhm.
The Collector is a mashup of Brainiac and Batman.
Oh,
what?
is that for real?
Like, what do you mean a mashup of Brainiac and Batman?
Yeah.
Like,
What do you
Bruce
mean?
Turns
It
into-
Like a
literally
fusion?
says it literally says in the DC database, the Collector was a mashup of Batman and Brainiac from the Dark Multiverse.
That's retarded. Dang on it.
Why would they add the Collector of all people into
Well,
their very first
we don't
DC
know.
universe
We don't
film?
know that that's a thing. It's just look at this. Like, it just looks in it. It looks like he's in a box.
Are we sure it's not Brainiac? I mean,
I would love if they did Brainiac actually, like the one from the animated series. That'd be great.
yeah.
Just do that one.
Why would it be the Collector? What the fuck?
I don't know what he's smoking, but you know.
and being in that box might actually be the Collector, but again, I haven't read anything about this. But as of right now, as of what I've seen so far, especially with the way that Lex gave that line that he's back, I'm actually a bit hopeful, because if you guys will remember, I have 3 basic rules for how to make Superman work. The first one is Krypton does not matter. I'm so tired of hearing about Superman.
Yeah, Krypton lives don't matter.
Okay, so as someone who's a very, 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 very casual fan of Superman, I can't help but noticing this guy seems to be coming into it with like a lot of pent up frustration against Snyder fans.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like I feel like that's directly addressing
the Snyderoid,
the Snyder movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, Krypton does not matter. It's like, slow down.
Well,
all right, without Krypton, we don't have Superman.
Like, even in the animated series we were watching, Krypton does matter to Clark Kent.
Well,
but not so much more than the Earth he's protecting.
Well, like when you guys were getting into like what you think makes a good Superman, you know, you were describing all of, like the moral characteristics that he has, but at the same time, you know, he is a superhero, so he does have to have certain powers. He does have to have.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
His origin story being what it is, and all that. Like otherwise, like, you know, why are we telling the story of Superman? Why are we not telling the story of just a very moral, conscionable, like, firefighter? You know, there are movies like that already, but let's make one about Superman.
I think his version of Krypton doesn't matter is kind of bad, because of course Krypton matters, but I don't think showing us his like origin story for the umpteenth time matters that much, because you can start a movie with like because everybody here knows
mhm.
Krypton's origins. You know,
Like,
Well,
mention it in passing, I think.
if you want to do that, you can do that the way they did it in Superman, from the 70s, where it's been a while, so correct me if I'm wrong, but they do that when he discovers the Fortress of Solitude, right?
Well, you spend some time on Krypton. It's like 10 minutes or so, right? Of like them explaining how like Superman will survive on Earth. And then later on is when he needs guidance at the Fortress of Solitude. He goes and he speaks to Jor-El's hologram.
Right, but I think like you would argue it's probably not as drawn out as in Man of Steel.
No, it's not. There's no civil war. It's just that he says Krypton will be destroyed, and they're like, "Ah, you're crazy." Like, yeah.
Yeah.
In the animated series, they have 2 episodes on Krypton.
I mean, that was something I was always scratching my head about because I haven't really I'm not a big Superman fan, so I don't really know the lore behind Krypton's destruction. But like in my opinion, it's like, well, Krypton doesn't seem like a very great place if they managed to destabilize its own planet and it's such an advanced civilization, but for some reason everyone dies. Like they don't have another planet to go
to. It depends on the adaptation. Like,
right.
It's just a normal society in some, like, Evolution starting to get into the space race. But then some of them, it's like, it's too advanced for its own good. Like,
well, I just feel like you have to do a lot
of
hand waving.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do a lot of hand waving, or you have to have really good writing to explain why an advanced society, arguably as advanced or more advanced than human beings, was all just wiped out when they have the capability of getting out into space.
Space travel, yeah, that's what Zack Snyder's big mistake was. I think it's like we stopped space travel. It's like
you have space. If you have the ability, but I'm saying if you have the ability, and I know every Superman adaptation has this, where you get sent from Krypton to Earth. Like, okay, so already you really have to justify why the entire planet of Krypton couldn't just escape. And also why there aren't remnants of Krypton outside of Krypton, because they can travel through space.
Like in the comics, there's more Kryptonians, but they had to get rid of them because of the tagline, the last son of Krypton. So, I mean, it's
I would expect that.
So they found ways to get rid of everyone. No, I don't want that. Sorry, I'm confused.
Superman's origin stories. I'm so tired of him being this alien that is on planet Earth, when in reality, Superman is an alien, but that is incidental to his character. The key component of his character is that he is raised on Earth by a good, wholesome American family, a middle American family, and that is why he is so good. It is a nurture, not a nature story. Sure, he gets his powers from his Kryptonian origin. Sure, kryptonite plays a role and whatnot, but the fact is, fundamentally, Superman is of Earth. He is raised on Earth.
I actually agree with that. Like, he doesn't call himself Kal-El. He is Clark Kent. Like, knowing his origin gives him a sense of place, but he was raised by his step parents, so that it just makes a lot more sense to call them Ma and Pa.
Well, I'll just say they're just his actual parents.
At this point, yeah.
I was gonna say this is a very easy analogy to make to like someone who was given up at birth and their adopted parents are their parents at that point.
Yeah.
Supergirl is the one who grew up on Krypton, and then through some machination, sometimes she's frozen, sometimes she's thrown in the Phantom Zone or whatever, ends up on Earth, and it's like going back in time for her. So the Superman as a man of Earth, it seems like that's what we're seeing in this particular film, so check right there. Also, the repeat of Kryptonians as villains absolutely sucks. We've seen it a million times. It was best done in Superman 2 back in the day, but right now, when you can recreate any one of Superman's different villains or different power sets, we can do better than him just fighting the cliche, an evil version that is opposite to him. So I look at this movie, and there is one person that may or may not be a Kryptonian in a clip of this, and that worries me, but hopefully they actually go for a Superman villain that we haven't seen before, because again, it's interesting to see his power set and his mindset go against somebody who has a different power set and a different ideology, you know, somebody who actually conflicts with him on multiple different levels, not just the evil bad version of Superman, which is often represented in films by Zod. So yeah, I don't want to see any of this overemphasis.
Yeah, he's definitely doubling down on the Snyder thing of being Zod. Yeah. And like, I'm kind of sick of Lex Luthor, to be honest. Like, please, no more Lex Luthor.
Well, I'm fine with having Lex Luthor not as the main villain, just a character who exists in this universe and has confrontations with Superman.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that ain't bad. I would prefer to set up Lex Luthor as the big bad for later Superman movies, but for now keep him at a not restricted, more so reserved level.
Because he's a businessman. Like so he should be making business deals and also keeping an eye on Superman.
On Krypton, it does not matter to the story, it is all supplementary, and part of the reason why this has infected the Superman mythos so much is that the role of Krypton has been expanded ever since Marlon Brando ended up playing Jor-El. Jor-El does not matter. I'm telling you right now, you could remove all of the Jor-El scenes from the Superman comic books, and it does not change his character fundamentally. The Kents matter.
Wow, that's interesting. Whoa. Maybe, but then again, like in the original film of 1970, it was Jor-El who said, like, you can't use your powers flippantly. It's like you can't reverse time.
Well,
you have to.
I don't know if I agree with the concept that Krypton matters. Not at all. Like, it does not matter at all, and we should stick with the Kens and all that sort of thing. You can have a story of him going up against a Kryptonian or thinking of, because that Brainiac is a way to do that, because in some interpretations Brainiac, was a part of Krypton. You could simply have it that Superman learns that, Krypton's gone and there's nothing he can do about it, nor his heritage. What matters most is the people he was raised by and the planet he was raised by, and what he needs to protect now is the planet Earth. It's like, you could still have Kryptonian-based plot lines in these Superman stories, as long as it ties into what Superman must protect from now on, which is his new home and his only home, Earth.
His new family, so to speak.
Yeah.
I understand like all this stuff, but to say like erasing Jor-El, but like if that's the way he feels, I don't know where that comes from. Maybe he's just a real hardcore. This is definitely a hardcore Superman fan. I do have to say, he definitely has a picture of what Superman should be.
Yeah, he's wearing his shirt and everything.
Yeah. Can't you tell that he's covering the topic? He's wearing the shirt.
Well, it's not like Chris Stuckman where it's like he just says nothing. This actually, he is saying something. So it's like, all right, at least he has a perspective.
the middle American family from the heartland that raised him with the values that he carries with him are far more crucial. Next up on the list that I always look for, and I didn't see any of it in this movie, is the fact that a Superman movie needs to be clear that Superman is neither God nor Jesus Christ. This is something that Man of Steel was absolutely obsessed with, and I've had enough of this nonsense in my Superman movies. I mean, the entire point.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going until he gets to a different point. Like,
Well, I just want to say real quick that, yeah, I don't like the only reason Zack Snyder even made this idea of Superman being like a godlike being is because Zack Snyder has some sort of obsession with mythology, and gods and all that sort of thing, and biblical stuff and Norse stuff and all these different things. That's why you see that's why the director's cut of Rebel Moon 2 had a fucking celestial being harvested. It's just like, what was Zack Snyder trying to say with this? It's just like he has this huge obsession with religion and mythology to the point where he will just project that into superheroes.
I don't necessarily mind that someone sees Superman like a guardian angel or a religious figure, because I think
Right.
that would happen naturally. But like,
Right.
but to put the focus on it, like in your face, preaching to you the theme of Superman, it's like, whoa, dude, you need to chill out.
Because there's a difference between having a character or some characters see this superhero as a godlike being. There's a difference between that and having the writer and director see this superhero as a godlike being and projecting that all across the writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And premise of Jonathan Kent's death, which is sometimes done via heart attack, sometimes done via cancer, is to show us the limitations of Superman. Because typically, in a good telling of Superman, he dies from something that Superman cannot prevent. This is something.
Oh, this is gonna happen from like because the tornado thing is freaking stupid. Like, I always thought of being dumb.
Something that Man of Steel got so wrong and did so horribly with Jonathan Kent being eaten by a tornado right in front of him.
I love this image. Stop! Don't break my heart.
No, don't reveal your powers by saving my life.
All the children's lives.
Hey guys, look over there.
No, well, you know
Oh,
what?
man,
You know, well,
Jonathan.
listen. Let me apologize for that movie. He said maybe.
Yeah,
I said maybe.
it's still. That's something you should never say.
Fuck it.
I cannot believe it, man.
No, if I was defending Man of Steel, I would never ever bring up this scene.
No, you
I'd be
wouldn't.
like, nah, that was bad. That was stupid.
But you should be prepared for it and be like, okay.
No, I don't want to talk about it because there's no defending it. That's what I would say.
You make like a video of like, I'm gonna defend Man of Steel, and then when you get to the part where Pa Kent sacrifices himself, you just say, Pa Kent died and the Superman could not save him, and you don't show the tornado at all. You're just like, moving on.
No. That would be disingenuous. I would just be honest. Be like, I wouldn't have written it this way. It was bad.
Oh yeah, like I've always wanted to defend like Devil May Cry 2, and I'm like, how do I do that? Because like I'd have to be honest with
question.
With what the game is doing, you know, because like there are legitimately good things about that game, but it's like, but if I say it in a certain way, it will come off as bad. It's like
I would say you really have to question whether or not it's something that you think is worth defending.
That's also true. I think I don't know.
I'll be right.
I have no idea what's going on with some of that stuff though, where it's like, do I really want to defend it, or if it's just like, but and if
Probably,
I do and if I do defend it, how long is that going to be? Like that's like 5 minutes long, so it's like, nah.
You should probably figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back. There's a dog in the house.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Something that I definitely learned when I was in high school, because I like to shoot my mouth off, is maybe
Mhm.
you should think a little bit longer before defending something. If you don't actually have any good like defenses.
Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of people, when they see something in a repetitive format, will be like, "Well, I want to defend it now because I feel like it should be put up on some kind of pedestal. It's not all bad." I think a lot of content creators do that, and I might be caught up in that sometimes, but then realize it's like, nah, it's not worth it. Just do it in discussion formats, like, yeah.
Of Clark, it's absolutely embarrassing. And the fact that they had to have him save a dog while that happened because we didn't care about Jonathan Kent enough, so we had to show him being nice to animals. If you guys don't know, saving a dog or killing a dog is the cheapest way humanly possible to get emotional investment from the audience. It's embarrassing. And
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's got. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
It is kind of. I remember watching Spoonie's. He was a YouTuber from a long time ago. He does still make content, but it's like
Spoonie.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't make content anymore. I'll just say that. But like he had this vlog of Paranormal Activity 2, where it's like and he talked about how like this demon thing hurts the dog and it throws him across the room, and it's like, and he says, fuck that ghost, man, he hurt that dog. It's like, that's how the audience feel, and that's how I feel. So it's like, oh yeah, I guess that is like, it is sort of like a lazy way of doing it, but just because it's like lazy doesn't mean it doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what if I do want him to hurt the dog? Like,
that's not the point. That's not the point. It's not the point that it doesn't work. It's that it's a very lazy way to get the audience on your side of like, yeah, see, it's bad. He's bad because he kicked a puppy. Thanks. You know, it's like fucking Abby's father saving a zebra.
Yeah.
Abby's father.
Like,
so no, hold on.
I get it. He's such a great guy. Thanks for showing me the most obvious good thing that anyone would do.
So, what about T2 when the T-1000 goes outside and kills the dog?
T2 when the T-1000 goes outside and kills the dog.
Yep.
They cut that scene from the original.
I know.
For a reason.
Well, if we are going by that scene, it makes logistical sense because dogs attack Terminators, and the dog is barking at him, and the T-1000 clearly doesn't want anybody to be alerted, so he goes to the dog and kills it. It's like it makes logistical sense.
Do you remember how that scene goes?
Yeah, I remember. He disguises as the foster mother. After he kind of loses the call battle with the T-800,
let's go back further.
He realizes that there's a dog there, and he goes over to it and kills it because it could alert some people.
No, it's not. That's not why. Actually, he was just going. All he was going to do was to confirm the name of the dog.
Oh yeah,
he kills the dog. He kills the dog
true.
Simply to be able to read the caller easier. That's it.
I'll go back even further, I think, because like when he chases and he loses the chase, and then he goes back to the home because that's what Terminators do. Like people have a familiarity and they're going to go back to people who are familiar. So he kills the mom, replaces her, and waits for him to come home, and then and then that scene happens. So
yeah, I'll do you one better. So at the beginning of the film, we open with a skull being.
Shut up, you. What up,
Falco? You originally brought up the dog scene, but then you went for some reason you went back to the beginning of that scene.
I'll do you one better. So James Cameron was born.
I'll do you one better. Why is Peter Quill? Like, But like my whole point is that like you can have good reasons for killing animals in films. That was my point. It's not always lazy, but you know.
Yeah.
I do find it a little funny that, or a little ironic that the example you brought up is a scene they cut from the movie.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like, it's still in the movie.
Well, clearly they didn't think it was good enough.
Well, they probably thought, like, that comes off too mean. We'll cut it.
Like, I don't really have that much of a problem with it. I don't know why I'm arguing about this. Not that bad. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Again, he could have easily saved him by running really fast, grabbing him out of the tornado, and people would not have been any of the wiser. But for some reason, Zack Snyder decided to have Superman quite literally let his own father die. And by the way, his mother was an absolutely horrible person with this line right here.
People hate what they don't understand. Be their hero, Clark. Be their angel. Be their monument. Be anything they need you to be. Or be none of it. You don't know this world is thing. You never
Oh, boy.
What did she say? I didn't hear it.
That whole monologue was terrible from start to finish.
Hold on. Let me hear it.
You don't know this world is thing. You never did.
So yeah.
Oh gosh.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, honestly. The whole like be an angel, be a god, be whatever they want you to be. It's like, dude, why don't you just be a good person? How about that?
Yeah, just this is why I think Kents are really important. Because like
good.
They set a moral standard because they're such normal people. It's and not only that, they're farmers. They're salt of the earth. They have a good work ethic and everything. It's like, wow. Like
except for those Kents, they salted the earth.
Oh yeah, they did.
I actually I don't understand how I don't understand how anyone defends the family of Superman in Zack Snyder's movie. I mean, I remember when the movie came out, that was a very big problem people had with the movie. We're big fans of Superman. They're like, no, fuck this. Like the Kents are terrible people.
It's such a drastic turn of events when Sun Lee is watching the animated series and like,
oh, it's so good.
It's not the best thing ever, but it is really good about like representing who Superman really is and his character. And like, it's not always about Superman getting hurt. It's about what Superman can do to make the world a better place. And the Kents are just fully supporting him to have a normal life and also being Superman. Really cool.
Yeah. I want to mention, so this video is about Ben Shapiro not understanding Superman, but we haven't talked about him in like
forever.
It's been a while.
Yeah, forever. Like, did Ben even have a single point that he like
would rebuttal?
Yeah, rebuttal.
Well, the title of the video that he has is Ben Shapiro doesn't understand Superman, so hopefully he gets to it again. If not, I'll call you a liar, Sean.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in this particular trailer that was a giant red flag like we saw in Man of Steel. And then the third thing that I think is absolutely crucial, and no Superman movie, 0 movies ever have gotten this right, which is make Lex Luthor a serious villain, a serious person. Look, the Christopher Reeve movies are great on their own, but Luthor, played by Gene Hackman, is a goofy real estate guy. The same is true with, I think, Kevin Spacey, who played him in Superman Returns. And of course, the Jesse Eisenberg performance is infamous for how terrible it is, where he's basically a knockoff of Mark Zuckerberg. And although I was worried about the signs of Nicholas Hoult going down that goofy path, and that would
yes.
100%. Yes. Also, it was a coincidence. Coincidentally, that movie came out, I believe it was right after The Social Network.
Mm-hmm.
Or not right after, but like a few years after.
Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook.
Yeah, of course. I remember the scene when Mark Zuckerberg stuffed a Jolly Rancher in someone's mouth.
It's cherry. Like that means anything. It's like it's cherry. Shove it in your throat. Shove it. It's like, it's supposed to show how he has control over everyone. It's like, dude, what the heck?
Oh, ahoy, ahoy!
Oh Jesus, no!
Really pissed me off because, again, you have Superman the Animated Series, which is by far and away the best adaptation, which leads into Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which again is a continuation and still the best adaptation of Superman, where they take Lex Luthor seriously. So all of that.
True. Lex Luthor in that series is excellent.
Yes. Get fucking Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor in live action, please.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that.
I love it when the Marcy episode where you just go through Marcy and it's like, man, you treat her like crap, but like you get to see his true nature, like brought up to the forefront when he's put under like a lot of tension. He's selfish, but like he's definitely a businessman. It's like, so good.
Right here looks like it's either confirmed to be true, or at least it does not appear that they've gone against those rules, and I am very positive about those particular outcomes. Now, do I need it to be jokey like Guardians of the Galaxy or anything of the sort? No, absolutely not. Again, a pulled back version of that where there is some humor, but it's not over the top, a la not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which is my least favorite of the trilogy, would be beneficial for this particular movie, but so far, so good. And by the way, a lot of people are showing clips of Darkseid and all this different stuff from the Justice League Snyder Cut or the Man of Steel movie or whatever, and this honestly is just a fundamental misunderstanding of the character. It breaks all three of the rules that I put forward in.
Okay.
So this feels like less a response to Ben Shapiro, more like a response to everybody.
Snyder fans.
I think you're just responding to the trailer
fans.
at this point.
Trailers,
more
Snyder
response
fans mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because here's the thing. This video began with him saying that there are those who are like, oh, I wanted to be like the Injustice series, which was gonna originally what Zack Snyder was going to do. Ben Shapiro didn't make, well, from what we saw, Ben Shapiro didn't make any of the Snyder arguments at all. And
I understand
this
that,
doesn't, this doesn't feel like a response to Ben Shapiro.
No.
Oh, is that a plane? What is that? Sorry, I got way distracted by something shining
No, it's
outside my window.
Superman.
Oh, yeah, sorry, but like, that is the slowest moving plane I've ever seen. Then, all right.
Famous last words.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. Please say it again. What did he say, Froggo?
I said, what did Froggo say? I don't know.
No.
No, I was laughing. I was laughing at a joke I was thinking of, but I'm not gonna say it here.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
Yeah, he got it.
And again, it actually undercuts the very story that Zack Snyder was trying to sell. Because this character, played by Henry Cavill, is not Superman, and he is designed specifically to not be Superman. He is a deconstruction of the character, in Zack Snyder's own words, and what's really unfortunate about that is that starting with the deconstruction as the Man
Forbes? You're gonna quote Forbes? Interesting.
I mean,
Steel universe did essentially
broken clock, you know.
Oh yeah, it's like no. Well, it's Forbes. Is Forbes media, or is it just politics? I'm actually really confused on this.
Well, I mean, look at the header.
Forbes.
That's not politics.
Well, I know that's a header. That's lifestyle arts. But here's the thing:
answer.
there are well, the New York Times is a political, like, sort of. Well, I should say not. It's more of a how can I say this? Like, what is the New York Times? It's like it's mostly known for its hard hitting.
Do you want the short answer or do you want the long answer?
But you know, it's
short answer is the New York Times is a journalistic organization.
Yes.
They're not a political organization.
Well, I get confused because they have so much of their propaganda coming out. So, you know.
I said that was the short answer.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I know what you mean, and you are correct. I think Forbes is the same thing.
doomed all the projects related to that Superman because nothing after that ended up working. When you have somebody who in movie 1 commits about 700 9/11s while fighting
700
I mean, he's not wrong.
I mean, I feel like the title of this video should be Zack Snyder doesn't understand Superman.
Yeah, I think this is a clickbait title.
Yeah,
And
this.
then
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I should change my title. What does Ben Shapiro have to do with it?
No, you just put little around it.
Just put Ben Shapiro asterisk and put Zack Snyder after it.
Oh I'll change Ben Shapiro to New Avengers. Be fine.
snaps his neck, it doesn't help us to actually be invested in him when he suddenly turns heroic and gets killed in movie 2. Then when you have the Justice League movie where they bring him back to life and everybody's talking about him like he's this hopeful, inspiring individual, you're left asking yourself, wait a minute, why would I think that? This guy was a complete and utter monster. He was ridiculous. But again, that's quite literally what Zack Snyder was going for. And then we have the post-credit thing in Justice League, the Snyderverse, where we find out that Superman, after the death of Lois Lane, a la the Injustice storyline, has turned evil and has become a servant of Darkseid. And the thing about that is that would work better if you didn't start with a deconstruction. Like, what people don't understand is that stories where Superman becomes a villain due to circumstances can be interesting. They can be good.
Ain't something wrong or be good?
No. Shep said I was echoing, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's all right. That's pretty
they
quiet.
can work, but the reason that those things are true is because of what I talked about in the opening of this particular video. Because like in the Iron Giant,
I sort of get the idea. It's like if you plan to like the reason why you don't want your characters to turn bad is because they were good in the first place. Like, yeah, obviously.
we understand fundamentally who Superman is and who he is supposed to be. But if you start off your universe by getting Superman wrong, and he's already kind of a villain, he's already kind of a violent a-hole who doesn't care about people, who doesn't save people, who casually lets hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people die, as he did in Man of Steel, then when you get to the point where he actually turns evil, you're not surprised. It's not a juxtaposition. It doesn't actually shock you in any way, and you don't even really root for him to come back to the good side, to see the light.
And then it ends with this epilogue. This
Oh wow, Ben's back.
All right. Okay.
Hey, Ben's back. Ben's back.
Back again.
You in any way, and you don't even really root for him to come back to the good side, to see the light.
And then it ends with this epilogue, this sort of tantalizing epilogue, where they flash forward into the future. Batman's having a dream, and in the future, Lois is dead. Superman has gone bad. It appears that some members of the Justice League are just not there at all. And so he sets up this whole other universe that they're ready to go to, right? What is supposed to happen next? What comes next? Frankly, it makes everybody want the Zack Snyder universe. So I know Warner Brothers has decided to move in a different direction. So Warner Brothers has decided to move away from this, even though by all measures, I mean, from Rotten Tomatoes to the number of people who viewed this on HBO Max, this is actually rather a major hit. I mean,
oh no, he trusts Rotten Tomatoes.
So that's where this was all leading to.
Yes, all right. I'm starting to get it. He
Yeah,
doesn't
it's all coming together.
He doesn't understand it because he misread Rotten Tomatoes. All right. That doesn't quite say he doesn't understand Superman. But I'm sure we're getting there. We're got 5 minutes left.
This whole video feels like, you know, he started the point, and then for like a large portion of the video, he's winding up his punch really fucking far, and then at this point, he's like, "All right, now that I can say it, fuck you," and then he just punches Shapiro really fucking hard.
Hold on. It's a really weak punch so far. This is his first part of the combo, and it better actually land. So I want to go back a little bit to make sure it makes sense.
Max is actually rather a major hit. I mean, honestly, like, big congratulations to Zack Snyder, because he's been beat up by the critics a lot, and I think very unfairly in certain cases. Again, I'm a defender.
Wow! Wow! That's why he doesn't understand. He agrees with Zack Snyder.
Oh boy.
Ooh, that's why he doesn't like the new trailer.
Oh jeez.
Oh my
jeez.
gosh.
Oh god. Oh okay.
Okay, yeah, this is a punch. If this is all streamlined.
Of Batman versus Superman, particularly the extended version, which is quite good.
Part of what makes Superman versus
Quite good. Quite good. He trusts Rotten Tomatoes and it says it's quite good. All right.
It all makes sense. All the pieces.
Yep.
Now I understand why he spent so long
on Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. I'm with you.
Which is quite good.
Part of what makes Superman versus Darkseid interesting is not just the fact that Darkseid is this villainous creature that can go toe-to-toe with Superman, but it's also that he corrupts flaws within the human heart, within any alien's heart. And Superman has the will to endure that, and of course has the will to inspire people to let go of their fear, let go of those negative emotions.
Isn't that something that happens in the last episode you saw suddenly? Like when he just he puts him up as his trophy on his tank as he rolls through town, and people are like, no, he's inspired us. We're gonna fight against you because he's a part of humanity and so are we. We'll never give up.
Yes.
It's man. That was a good episode.
Yes, it was.
That can help fuel Darkseid's power, but Man of Steel Superman does not have that capability. He's always mopey. He's always dopey. He thinks he's above everybody else, and again, he's willing to kill
Calling him dopey. Does dopey mean stupid? Is that the is that the synonym for it? I'm sure it is, but I'm just is Clark dumb in? Yeah, I guess he is. I guess he is dumb in Man of Steel.
Dopey, stupefied by sleep or a drug.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. But
similar, idiotic.
Yes, I agree. All right.
Simultaneously, if it is convenient for him to do so. The thing that all these Snyder dorks and Ben Shapiro, who defended the Zack Snyder Superman movies and the Zack Snyder DCEU movies, don't understand is that it is more interesting to see a Superman like the Christopher Reeve Superman, or like what we could be getting in this particular movie, Turn to the Dark Side, because we're already invested in the light. We already see him on display, saving people, caring for each and every individual, caring for even lifeless automatons, because he's such a charming and courteous guy that when he flips, it has to be something major in order to trigger that. The Man of Steel Superman,
which is so interesting because when Ben was ranking those Marvel movies, he liked the fun ones.
Of course,
like Guardians of the Galaxy, it was one of his top 5. And I'm like, isn't that what you're looking for in a movie? You don't want... So why suddenly is he changing from like the dark stuff in the DC? That's really weird.
Could be because Ben doesn't like DC as much as Marvel.
I don't think he likes this. I don't think he likes superheroes in general. I just think it's like he's just in it for the fun when it comes to Marvel, because that's what they're supposed to be about, and then DC for the seriousness because that's what they're supposed to be about. Because he likes the Nolan trilogy, and those are very serious movies and they're dark.
Oh.
So it's like I sort of get it, I think.
Superman could be corrupted by Darkseid and should be corruptible by Darkseid instantaneously. He's already a murderer. He's already a not good person. He's already an a-hole who, again, doesn't have any real connections to humanity. One of the biggest mistakes, again, in that Snyderverse movie is the fact that he is only connected to Lois Lane. That is the only person he's shown to care about.
This is true. Like, he doesn't care about his mother as much as Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of funny how, like, in Man of Steel, he says, "You don't touch my mother," you know, like when he starts beating that one guy up.
Yeah.
And it's like,
turns out,
but after that, it's like, why? What do you care?
Like, yeah. Turns out all you got to do is kill Lois, and he'll have the capacity to kill everybody.
Yeah, it's really weird. Well, I do like in that one episode we watch where Lois disappears, or he can't save Lois, and he becomes a dictator, but he doesn't become a murderer. Like,
other than maybe the worst scene in DC movie history, where we have the Martha scene, but he doesn't even care about his father enough to risk exposing his identity in order to save him. It's not Superman, and it's not interesting when that guy ends up going corrupt. So all these people who are like, oh, the Snyderverse was going to go in such a cool direction or whatever, it would be better, it would be less hacky if he actually started off good and then went to the dark side. And to
we
be clear,
know.
I'm not somebody who hates the Injustice storyline. I'm not somebody who hates versions of the story where Superman goes dark. One of my favorite arcs in the Justice League Unlimited universe is the Justice Lord's arc, which ends up leading from the original Justice League, which shows us an alternative league.
Yeah, we're gonna see that one day, suddenly. Look at these.
One of these days.
Yeah, I like that suit on Superman. I really do. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks
Good looking. Yeah.
After the Flash dies, where Superman goes dark, all the way into Justice League Unlimited, where they're putting out this idea that maybe that's not an alternative universe, it's actually a future universe, and our Superman's going to do this. But the reason that story works is because we've been with our Superman for a long time. You have to be an absolute idiot, you have to be an absolute moron, you have to be somebody obsessed with deconstructing heroes like Zack Snyder was, to think that your main timeline Superman should start out already as the Injustice.
I think he's made this point like 3 times, and I'm like, yeah. Sure.
Version of Superman, and that's what they were going with in that direction. And in reality, even if you were going to do that story, which by the way is a modern story, and it is kind of hacky to do those modern stories, then you would want to still.
Yeah, I actually agree. Like, it's everywhere. Stop doing it. Like, it's actually like subversive to actually just do the hero story nowadays. Like,
yeah.
Start out with somebody like this.
Has he gone back to Ben? I was away.
Yes, he has. Apparently, Ben has defended Zack Snyder, and that's why he's making all these points.
Yes.
Yeah, like he said that Batman vs Superman is quite good, especially the extended edition.
And that Zack Snyder was treated unfairly.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's why he brought it up so much. I was like, oh, there was a point to this madness.
New version of Superman, or at least what he looks like as of right now in this particular trailer. So yeah, I'm a bit optimistic about this Superman movie. I don't know.
I'm not still optimistic after all this. I'm still with the red flags. It's gonna be nonsensical. But
hopelessly, hopefully optimistic. No,
yeah.
wait. What's it? Fuck. How do you say it?
Cautiously.
Cautiously
optimistic.
optimistic.
Yeah, because like just because you like the way Superman is going doesn't mean the story around him doesn't gonna be bad, or like the other characters are gonna be foolishly stupid or something. Like, it's all about like, huh?
Nothing.
Go ahead.
If it's going to be good, I don't know if it's going to be too jokey or whatnot. If I were making a Superman movie, I would probably not include Krypto in it because he does seem a little bit too goofy for a movie. But the thing is, James Gunn is
Wow, he actually agrees that, like, with all that stuff. All right, that's interesting. All right.
actually really good with weird, underutilized characters, as opposed to other filmmakers who would definitely botch or bungle the particular use of Krypto. In addition to that, we also obviously are seeing some version of All-Star Superman. Maybe this movie is designed.
Yes, that's definitely his inspiration is All-Star Superman. Like, it's everyone who knows comics has picked up on this.
At least in flashback, with all the different various characters that we see, to catch us up to speed with what's going on in the DC universe. Maybe they're going to really blast past the origin, which I think is perfectly fine. And Lex Luthor, at least from what they're saying in the interviews, at least from that line reading right there, actually looks like he might be a serious villain. He actually looks like they're not going to make him some kind of stupid joke or
Well, yeah, but just because they don't make him a stupid joke or make him hacky or whatever doesn't mean he can't be a he could be a dumb villain. Like, you can do serious things in dumb ways.
Well, this is just a trailer. That's and
Mhm.
all Lex Luthor says is just one line. You don't know what any of his other lines are like.
Mm-hmm.
So he could still be a jokey character. Just
Absolutely.
that one. Yeah.
And no offense, but like to Sean, but like interviews are meant to be flattering. So
real estate guy, or of course whatever the hell was going on with Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal, where he was more similar to the Jim Carrey Riddler, trying to be a Mark Zuckerberg.
That's something I've never heard. I've heard like he was trying to be
Joker.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg version
I don't think
of it.
he was
And again,
crazy.
He was crazy?
No, I'm saying I don't think he was going for that kind of like crazy.
Oh,
compared, like the Joker.
The over like eating the scenery type of performances. Yeah, I think you can get Joker vibe from that, but I didn't. But
was yet another Zack Snyder stunt casting, deconstruction, modernization of Superman. And that's really where I want to get at with all these different people who are clamoring for the Man of Steel universe. Because again, like I said multiple times, Superman means something. He is a character that is well established in the minds of people, and it is the height of arrogance. It is the height of hubris and the most disrespectful thing that you could possibly do to tell me that a deconstructed version of this character who has stood the test of time since the 1940s is the best version of him, is a sensible direction to go for your mainline Superman. Again, you want to set up for a Justice Lords or Injustice-like storyline with an alternate version of Superman, that's totally fine. But you don't make your prime Superman your Justice Lord Superman. You don't make your prime Superman your Injustice Superman. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And again, it disassembles a character that stands for something that is just more meaningful in the United States of America, and I'm not on board with it, and I'm not down with anybody else who's on board with it. So yeah, I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic, but of course, I want to know what you guys think about all this down in the comments below. As per usual,
oh yeah,
if you like
you
this
definitely
video,
want
then
to
show by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me via the support links.
Well, yep, that's
that
the
video,
end.
That video was fine.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
fine. It's fine.
So I kind of, well, I wasn't here for that, but I kind of get why now he's using Ben Shapiro's opinion as a springboard, because he doesn't like the fact that Ben Shapiro likes Zack Snyder's movies. I mean, I haven't seen Ben's video, but I know he's not a fan of James Gunn. And
I don't think so.
So I mean, I feel like it for him as probably a surface level enjoyer of these movies, he's just like, I don't like James Gunn, but I did enjoy the Zack Snyder movies, so that's about it.
Which is, I don't think that's necessarily true, because he likes the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So it's, so it seemed to be like a...
Yeah, but he doesn't like James Gunn as a person.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And opinions have... Well, yeah, that was just a fun movie for him, but this is serious. You know, it's going to be a cultural icon. You know, this is quite different than a ragtag of people nobody knows. So yeah,
for him,
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I would say he looks at Zack Snyder's movies because of the tone they're going for. Because the tone is serious. That's why he likes them.
Yeah, that's what.
Because he's not really into the whole like, oh, we're having fun, quippy, whoop 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 whoop.
Well,
silly type of superhero movie.
I said earlier that like Marvel he looks for the silly, and then for DC he looks for the serious stuff. So he doesn't like him crossing the streams, so to speak.
That makes sense.
That was fine. That was a fine video. It wasn't the worst, but like
I think yeah.
What?
Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting.
No. Go ahead.
I just don't think that this I don't think that this video was. I don't think it was accurately titled.
No.
I don't
Mhm.
think that this is a video about Ben Shapiro not understanding Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he wanted to use that as an example of, let's say, more mainstream, surface level viewer's opinion of Superman, that's
Mhm.
fine. But I think if it's clearly obvious he would wanted to make a video, giving his opinion on the trailer, responding to Zack Snyder fans, and why they like Superman versus why he likes Superman, and I just don't
Yeah.
think the video was about what it says it's about.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
I feel like this should have been, the title should have been Snyder fans don't understand Superman, and then you could
Yep.
put Ben Shapiro on the thumbnail to get people curious.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. There's very few clips of Ben Shapiro, but it is sort of like a
Yeah.
springboard of his idea of what he wanted to do. Absolutely.
Mhm.
But you know what? I've seen worse videos. I've seen better videos. It's one of these things. I'm like, I like Sean as a creator, but like this was not the best way to do this. In fact, I might leave a comment later on and be like, dude, this isn't what you think it was.
And I can tell he's very passionate about Superman.
At least I can
But
have that.
yeah.
But he did repeat himself a lot. That is something I'm not a fan of. But I think the reason why he does repeat himself, because like I think he knows he's second screen content. I think he's self-aware enough to be like, I need to repeat this to make sure people know. So it digs into their skull as they're listening.
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
I think that if he had been more, or I don't know, maybe if he had like redrafted this into a different video, it would have been good.
Mhm.
But because I went into this video thinking he was going to be criticizing Ben Shapiro's take on Superman, I don't know. It's like when somebody makes a comparison of like, well, a Spider-Man movie is not a good Batman movie because it's about Spider-Man, so it can't be a good Batman movie. In this case, this video is not a good version of a criticism of Ben Shapiro's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different video.
Yeah, it's mostly about like setting up why Zack Snyder doesn't understand, and Ben Shapiro was the springboard for his idea. That's why he called it that. But the problem is that the content of the video doesn't match your ideas of of your title. But you know what? I still recommend his content. I'm still gonna leave a link. So yep. Let's see. So I'm probably gonna sign off. But before I do, does anyone have something that they're doing that they want to talk about?
Yes.
Oh.
So this entirely depends on Sunley's answer. The video of me and a bunch of other people's reactions, including Sunley, to Arcane Season 2 Act 3. The reactions will either come today or tomorrow. One of those two.
Oh, cool.
We just need to do a little bit of touch-ups, and we should be good. I even got the thumbnail down. We are almost there. Very, very close. And since we are so close, I will also announce the fact that we will take a break. We will take a break after the Arcane videos out. But when the break is over, you guys can expect us to be working. You guys can expect us to be working on the Froggo Watch Along Marvel's What If reactions, which which should be very fun because I don't know if I've ever said this on this show before, but Marvel's What If, I think, is the worst TV show I've ever seen. So that should
Oh man,
that should be very fun.
it's. I would say I think Arcane season 2, from what I've heard, is the most disappointing season 2, like so far. But
It's up there.
but like, What If is just like, no offense to anyone out there, but who cares about What If? But it's that doesn't mean like that you can't like it or not like it. But man, it's like that series is garbage. Like, and I'm in it too, so that's how I know. So it's
Words of wisdom.
especially the one where like where T'Challa, he's like the best person ever because he became Star-Lord. He talked down the freaking genocidal Titan, like from destroying the universe, and he becomes his best friend. It's like I know the guy died recently, like, and that episode was like a tribute to him.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, and I'm like, but man, it's like, calm down. Like, you
Oh yeah, don't get us wrong, people. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace.
Good. Yeah, he was great in the Civil War. Like,
I need to see his film based on Jackie Robinson. I've heard that's really good.
I remember when Jack Kirby died, and like there was all these tribute episodes for him, and one of them being the animated series of Superman, because he made those characters. And then there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003. They had an episode about call it the King, you know. And it's like, wow, look at all these tribute episodes about Jack Kirby. They're really good. And then you have What If. It's really bad.
Yeah. But yeah, expect the Arcane video either today or tomorrow. One of those days.
Mm-hmm. And
if not later, because we have no idea how copyright's gonna react.
Oh yeah. I remember when Shep was doing the editing for Artemis Fowl. I think it took forever to get past copyright.
I mean,
I didn't get past copyright. I mean,
Go
I
ahead,
guess
somebody.
I did.
I was gonna say I did my absolute best of making all the clips short. You know, not like most, like 99% of the clips on there is no more than 4 seconds. Which, if you want a lot of context, because like you need it to understand our criticisms or like praises. If there is any in this video, yeah. Yeah, that's difficult to do, but I believe I did it. You know,
we all believe.
I haven't had copyright issues yet. But yeah, we'll find out in the next few days or so.
It seems like the longer the video is that you uploaded, the more copyright you'll be able to get. Because I've had like so if you know, like, I uploaded Passion, the episode about Passion, and then I used the same footage for the introduction video, and it didn't check it, but on Passion it did. So I'm like, that's weird. So it can depend on length. And now I'm working on the body, and it's going to be a long one, because I'm on page 10 of my script. I think I'm only like halfway done through the episode. Like, there's a lot of details that I have to go through, and a lot of emotional gravity, and I'm up to the speech. For people who don't know, I'm at Anya's speech, and I have to explain that. Like, it's going to be tough. So yeah, it's I guess it's time to go. So like, bye-bye,
Yep.
you crazy people. Like, subscribe.
Bye, everybody.
Sponsored by
Bye-bye.
BetterHelp and Raid Shadow Legends.
Better help.
All right.
All right. See ya.